Representative Hanna is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Bernanke, all jobs are not equal. In fact, in the last 20 or so years, about 98% of the jobs we've created have been service-oriented jobs, not STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. We have a skills gap, we have a growth gap, we have what seems to be an intractable employment gap, shrinking middle class, and on top of all of that, a lack of real growth and real income. In a speech you gave the other day at Bard, and I don't attribute this to you or attributing this to someone else, said the IT revolution, as important as it surely is, likely will not generate transformative economic effects that flow from the earlier technological revolutions. As a result, these observers argue economic growth and change in coming decades will likely not be noticeably slower than the pace to which Americans have become accustomed. Apparently, Dr. Kevin Hassett agrees with you, or agrees with that statement of the American Enterprise Institute, though the structural factors such as mismatch between skill sets, arguably STEM, that the employed have and the skills that employers need also plays a significant role, which leads us back to education. My question is, three parts. How much of today's unemployment is cyclical and how much is structural? If a significant portion of today's unemployment is structural, then how does a highly accommodative monetary policy that the Fed is pursuing boost employment, cyclically or structurally over the long term? And if a significant portion of today's unemployment is structural, do we expose ourselves to significant risk of price inflation in the near term by continuing a highly accommodative monetary policy until the employment rate drops below 6.5%?
So as on the first question, how much is structural? Again, nobody knows precisely. It has to be estimated. The FOMC makes its own estimates, and the numbers we have come up with are between 5.2 and 6%. So if we have 7.5% unemployment now, we're saying there's still probably a couple percentage points of cyclical unemployment, which can be addressed by monetary policy. The rest probably cannot be addressed by monetary policy, except to the extent that cyclical employment left untreated will become structural unemployment. In terms of longer run growth, Mike, the comments that you read were pessimistic comments about the IT revolution. Let me be clear that I laid out this view that, as you mentioned, of pessimism, and I was agnostic about that. I think that there are a lot of differences between the world today and the world in the 19th century when other inventions were being made. And what's important about the most important differences have to do with, first of all, the amount of research and development funding, the skills available, the markets that make it very profitable to be first to market with a new innovation. And since research, development, and technological progress are the engines of long-term growth, I think that as a country, we need to think about our policies in that area and try to do what we can to address shortages of STEM workers, mismatches, assure that talented people from all over the world can come to the United States and participate in technical innovation. So I think this is a very important area, and I'm the first to admit that it's outside the realm of what the Fed can do. It's really something that only Congress can address.
Thank you very much. I yield back.
Thank you, Senator.